It was early in the morning for Ino Yamanaka, as she finished up the last of the inventory for the Yamanaka flower shop. Whenever she didn't have active missions as a ninja or any other pressing matters, you could often find her working here. For the morning, she had to make sure that the fertilizer and all of the other ins and outs were in order before leading to the training yard with members of Team 10. As she made her way, Ino reflected on her newly acquired teammates. Of course, there was Shikamaru Nara, a boy that she had known since her earliest of memories in her childhood. After all, the bond between the Yamanaka, the Nara, and the Akamichi clan couldn't be understated. For over 15 generations, there had always been an iteration of the Ina Shika Cho trio. But now, her generation would be the first one to break from that tradition. Of course, when the clan found out, they were a little less than thrilled. There were some that believed that it was an outrage. Things had always been the way that they were. The best of each of these three clans would be partnered into a team. It was as old as time itself. But of course, the will of the Hokage was that there was supposed to be a new structure, a new order to things. Sure, the Ina Shika Cho trio were good, but that didn't mean that it couldn't be better, potentially improved. Of course, for Ino, it really didn't make a difference to her. She understood the importance of it, but it wasn't like it was something that kept her up at night. Working with Shikamaru wouldn't be much of a problem. But then there was Naruto. Going into the academy, students kept clear of him, at the will of their parents more than anything else. Ino's father didn't outright say that she couldn't be around Naruto, but it wasn't a subject that he liked to talk about either. He didn't hate the boy, but he wasn't overly fond of him, and Ino took a similar approach. She found Naruto to be a little goofy, a little immature, someone who didn't always have the brightest of brains, but he made up for it in other ways. When they first started, he was one of the dead last in the class, but he improved, until eventually he was winning Rookie of the Year, co-Rookie of the Year, with the popular Sasuke Uchiha, a boy that often brought a smile to her face. Sasuke was cool, he was handsome, he had the talents, but Naruto was always there. For most of the girls in the class, rooting for Sasuke was the easiest choice. But somewhere along the line, Naruto begrudgingly earned some of the girls' respect. If not for nothing else, it was the fact that he was the only boy in the class who actually chose to keep up with Sasuke. Sure, there were other boys like Kiba who would talk a big game, but when it came down to it, he really didn't have it to match Sasuke in terms of pace. But Naruto was different. Not only did he talk the talk, but he also walked it, to the point where he couldn't be ignored. And he turned some heads. It wasn't like the boy was bad looking. But Ino just wasn't sure what to make of him. He wasn't as bad as he seemed, but she noticed how people in the village treated him. She wondered why, but she was never one to ask. Then there was Shikamaru, whose relationship with Naruto was a lot different than most. His father, even at a young age, never discouraged him from talking to Naruto or being around him. He let the boy make his own decisions on how he felt. But after the recent events, everything had changed. It started shortly after the arrest of Mizuki Sensei, and when his betrayal was made known. Shikamaru was around when he heard about Naruto's truth, that he was the Jinchuriki. It was later on that day when Shikamaru spoke to his father. It was in private, somewhere where they wouldn't be bothered, and Shikamaru flat out asked him. "Hey Dad," Shikamaru said. What can I do for you, Shikamaru? There's something I need to ask you about. And what is it? It's about Naruto. The reason why people look at him so differently. So that's what you want to know. I've come into some information recently. I think it explains everything. But what it doesn't explain is why no one's ever said it. You're perceptive. So I guess I don't need to beat around the bush when it comes to Naruto and what he truly is. Who he truly is. He's the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. The one that keeps it in check. You're right. Naruto Uzumaki has the status of Jinchuriki. It's not something that's made known to the public all the time, but if you're going to be a shinobi, one day you'll learn of this sooner rather than later. They are called the Tailed Beast, powerful entities that once roamed this earth freely. It was said that the first Hokage, Hashirama Senju, captured 8 of the 9-tailed beasts and distributed them among the other great nations. Most of the major ones each have a tailed beast or 2. The Hidden Sand has the 1 tails. The Hidden Cloud, they have the 2 tails and the 8 tails. The Stone, they have the 4 and the 5 tails. The Mist are said to have the 3 tails and the 6 tails. Even a minor nation like the Hidden Waterfall is said to be in possession of the 7 tails. In Konoha, they're in possession of the 9-tailed fox. Yes, from the days of Hashirama, the Hidden Leaf has been in possession of the 9 tails, and we are the ones who have the 9 tails Jinchuriki. So 12 years ago, the 9 tails got loose somehow? Yes, that's what caused the tragedy. The 9 tails went on a rampage inside of Konoha. The 4th Hokage and his wife sacrificed their lives to protect the village. And Naruto was sealed away with the 9 tails in tow. He was only but a child, barely even born on that night, when he was made into the Jinchuriki of the 9-tailed fox. And since then, he has been the one that protects the village. But if that's the case, Shikamaru said, then why don't the other villagers see it that way? They can't be that naive to the truth. Pain can often get in the way of logic, Shikamaru. Keep in mind how many people were lost during that incident. Even some members of our own clan were taken. Of course, there are some who are able to rationalize things. Naruto had absolutely nothing to do with the attack. He was just chosen to be the jailer of the 9 tails. But there are others who can't see it that way. To some, Naruto is the representation of everything that was lost on that night. All of the hatred, it's centered towards Naruto. And in a twisted sort of event, it's through that hatred that the leaf has been able to recover somewhat. But the bond over hating one person, Shikamaru said, that's just wrong. So why? Why didn't you tell me? The Hokage decreed that no one would speak of it. Not to Naruto, not even among ourselves. Of course, many adults had their biases, but the children of the next generation wouldn't have such bias. It was hoped that Naruto could be given a chance. If your generation didn't know of his status, it would at least allow him to cultivate relationships without being judged. Like with you were able to come to your own conclusions about Naruto. You didn't need me to tell you whether or not you should hang out with him. Yeah, in the end he's just like the rest of us. And now he's my teammate. I've heard. I believe that the two of you will be able to bring out the best in each other. You've made good friends, Shikamaru, and I hope that your friendship will continue. So you're not upset about the Inoshikacho trio being split apart? Traditions come and go, Shikamaru. In the end, we must all forge our own paths into the world. Sometimes you must break away from the old in order to truly achieve something new. Early on into the morning, Asuma would gather together the members of Teams 10 to assess their skills and abilities. This was the process for the next month and a half, as Asuma would take note of what each child was capable of. They worked on chakra control drills, basic ninja drills, trying to harness the basics. This was first done in the form of tree climbing. Asuma would walk over the children the steps of chakra control, focusing chakra to one's feet and then using it to stick to a surface, doing so by walking up the side of trees. Out of the three of them, it was actually Shikamaru that proved to be most effective in this area. Its chakra control was pretty efficient, but that was to be expected from someone of the Nara clan. Ino followed soon behind. Naruto wasn't doing too bad himself, although it was clear to everyone that his chakra control needed a little bit more work. However, when it came to the skill of ninjutsu and taijutsu, that's where Naruto excelled. The boy had stamina for days, and out of everyone, when it came to sparring, Naruto was the only one who could seemingly keep up with Asuma. Shikamaru got tired too quickly, and Ino wasn't the taijutsu aficionado. But Naruto, even without the use of shadow clones, he just had the drive to keep boxing with Asuma. No matter how many times Asuma-sensei knocked him down, the boy just kept getting back up. He was definitely a glutton for punishment, but Asuma could see the potential in him, and he kinda understood why he was on his team now. If he had been teamed with Kakashi, he doubts that he would have been able to bring out the boy's potential to the proper degree. Training the Uchiha, the Hyuga, or maybe even Kiba Inuzuka, that would have been more up Kakashi's alley. But Naruto was just a ball of fire. And for Asuma, as a member of the Sarutobi, it was his job to stoke that flame. But that didn't mean that the other children didn't have their strong suits. Asuma didn't just train them physically, he trained them mentally. As such, he taught the kids shogi and had them play against each other often. Shikamaru was the brains of the group, and he pretty much dusted everyone in the game of shogi, no matter how hard they tried. Asuma was the only one that could push him. Naruto often lost halfway through the game, and Ino, she lacked the patience. But Ino also had her own strong suits. Asuma would take the children out for walks through the forest around Konoha. While doing so, Ino would show her proclivity for plants, knowing the poisonous from the non-poisonous. A few times, Naruto was accidentally going to eat a mushroom that could have put him in the hospital. Ino showed off her love for plants, what were good for camouflaging, plants that grew in certain areas and other flowers that didn't. This sparked a new curiosity in his mind. Ino was very good at camouflage rather. With her knowledge on plants, both poisonous and non-poisonous, she'd be a good use for survival in a harsh environment. If they could just buff up her taijutsu a little bit more, maybe give her some skills in other areas, the team could round out together very nicely. Over the next month and a half, Team 10, when not training, from tree climbing to even adventuring into water walking territory, as they would use their chakra to walk over a pond towards the center of Konoha, among other skills. They also took a lot of D-rank missions. This would be from finding lost pets, painting and fixing houses and fences, helping to harvest crops, or hunting for animals, such as rabbits, deer, and even a few bears. Team 10's teamwork was starting to be brought to the focal point. The teams were a lot more balanced, another point that Asuma had to bring up. He had heard about the incident between Naruto and Sasuke, and even though it was one that was kind of fabricated, there was only but so much truth that went into it. As Asuma would have deduced, even if Naruto and Sasuke weren't coerced under a genjutsu to fight, they probably would have come to blows more often than not. Them being on a team together wouldn't have been good for the teamwork. But with Naruto being teamed up here, he showed to have a propensity to listen. Shikamaru, while not someone to take a leadership role, whenever he gave his advice, the others were willing to hear him out. Ino could be forceful at times, but she had her reasons. In the end, Team 10 and their teamwork progressed flawlessly. Eventually, though, one day, while Team 7 were making their way to the Hokage's office, they could hear a commotion going on the inside. They heard Sasuke's voice, along with their sensei, Kakashi Hatake, as well as the boisterous Kiba Inuzuka, along with the chirping of his dog, Akamaru, and Hinata trying desperately to smooth things over. They heard the slurred speech of an old man, as now Team 7 had been given their mission also. Kiba was storming out of the office, excited but also angry. "Stupid old man, who does he think he is, calling me a wet dog? You're nothing but a wet, sloppy, wrinkly old drunk." Kiba, please calm down," Hinata said. "What a loser," Sasuke said under his breath. "Oh boy. Always troublesome." Kakashi came out as he greeted Team 10 as they were making their way inside. Kakashi would take a moment to look over Naruto as Naruto looked at him back. Kakashi had wanted Naruto to be on his team. Even though he had his apprehensions, he knew more about Naruto than Naruto would ever know. But he understood that things happened for the best, and perhaps things were better off being the way that they were. As the team went inside, Asuma would speak to Kakashi. "So, how's he doing?" "Oh, you mean Naruto? The boy is doing quite well, actually. The teamwork is working together flawlessly, and they're definitely making progress. I say that you've got the more rambunctious group. It has its days. Kiba can be pretty insightful, and his tracking skills are second to none. I'm thinking about having him go into having a summoning contract with a few ninja hounds. I think that would suit him well. And as for training Sasuke and Hinata, two users with ocular jutsu, it makes things a lot more smoother. I have to say, for the teams to have turned out the way that they did, it seems to have been paying off. Perhaps it was best to break away from tradition and ideal." "I agree. I even hear that Kurenai's team is flourishing in their own right. That Kunoichi girl, Sakura Haruno, it says that she's blossoming when it comes to her genjutsu prowess." "Is that right? For someone to have a high genjutsu prowess and not be an Uchiha, that's considered a marvelous feat." "So what's going on with your team?" "Well, we've just been given a C-rank mission to the Land of Waves. We need to escort a bridge builder, keep him safe from bandits and things like that, and from a gang, at least until the bridge is built and they can get more stability." "The Land of Waves. That's towards the mist, isn't it?" "We'll be leaving shortly. Good luck in there. Who knows what type of mission you'll get." Team 10 would follow suit, as they gave their report on another successful D rank. Of course, the third Hokage was in a bit of a cheerful mood. First, there was Team 7. Even though Kiba was the one with the big outburst, giving the Genin teams, especially the rookies, a C-rank mission seemed to be in the works. After all, they were proving themselves, and, along with Team 7, Team 10 were doing good work too, along with Team 8. Iruka, along with a few other Chunin and Jonin, along with the third Hokage, had been dispersing out some missions recently, and there was another C rank in the works. It was borderline a B rank, but this seemed like something that could be a good test for them. So, I take it you all would like to test your skills also? The group would nod, not sure what was going to happen next. Well, among the rookie teams, I just gave out their C rank, and I would like to see what your team is capable of as well, Asuma. Right, Lord Third. My team's ready for any mission that you want to give us. A C rank? We can handle it no problem. That's good. Here's the mission that we have. Towards the northwestern side of the Land of Fire, there is a settlement towards the border entering into the Land of Grass. For a short period of time, we have gone into talks of peace with the Hidden Grass Village. The Hidden Grass Village? Naruto would say. They're a smaller nation, not like the 5 great ninja villages. We have had some workings with the Land of Grass and with the Hidden Grass Village for a while now. We have a bit of an agreement. Along the northwest border, there are settlements on either side. These settlements are not claimed by either nation, but instead they're a joint effort. Members from the Land of Fire and from the Grass live in them both. However, because things are still being ironed out, we don't have the proper authorities to protect these settlements, and we've had talks about robbers, bandits, and other thieves who have been causing some chaos along these settlements in the border. So what's the mission? Asuma would ask. Your mission is to stay there in this settlement for the next 2 to 3 weeks, until we can get the proper grouping of shinobi who will then serve as law enforcement for these settlements. Of course, you're not going to be alone. There are grass ninja who are also going to be assisting you. This is going to be a joint effort. Hidden Leaf and Hidden Grass. We're going to work together on this to protect these settlements until the proper authorities can be properly assigned. The mission will take around 2 to 3, maybe even 4 weeks max. You'll be doing patrols, watching over the town. If anyone's causing trouble, you'll make sure that you remove them. And is there a chance that we'll encounter any other type of shinobi on this mission? These settlements, while they are profitable, don't hold any strategic value. And since we'll be working with shinobi from the Land of Grass, it's unlikely that you will come across any other rogue shinobi, or any of any high importance. But in either case, I won't have your team there for too long, so you shouldn't have much to deal with in that regard. Will you accept this assignment? Everyone would nod in unison, and thus, Team 10 would be given their first C-rank mission. A bodyguard mission, if you will, protecting the newly made settlements on the border between the Land of Fire and the Land of Grass. When Naruto came home, he would inform both Anko and Orochimaru of his mission. He was excited, and Anko and Orochimaru were proud of him. This was going to be his first time leaving Konoha, going somewhere towards the borderlines of the Land of Fire. As Naruto would pack his bag and prepare, Anko would also help, packing along rations, a medical kit, food, and other things. Even Orochimaru would give his opinions on what Naruto should do, some ideals of what he could expect. Thankfully, you're not going to be leaving the Land of Fire entirely. I know about the Northwest settlements. They're not anything too crazy, Orochimaru said. You'll only have to deal with the occasional bandit or thief, so it's not anything out of your parameter. Make sure that you listen to the instruction of Asuma-sensei, and watch out for your comrades. Right, of course, Orochimaru-sensei. What is it? Orochimaru would ask. It's nothing. I should get to bed. I don't want to be late. Right. Have a good rest, Naruto. Orochimaru would exit from the room. Naruto wasn't sure what to say. Orochimaru had been very supportive of him, and he was grateful. But still, even after all this time, there was still this strange barrier between the two of them. What were they exactly? Sure, you could say that Orochimaru was like a father, but he never really took that role. He felt more like a sensei that he lived with than anything else. And Naruto was happy, but, well, nothing. He was probably just overthinking it as always. The next day, at the border gate to Hidden Leaf Village, early in the morning, Naruto and his team, along with Team 7, would get ready to depart, saying their goodbyes as they were now heading in opposite directions. For Team 7, they were heading towards the south of the Land of Fire, heading towards the Land of Waves. While Team 10, they would make their ascent to the northwest settlements of the Land of Fire and the Land of Grass, as Team 10's first journey outside of Konoha would begin. Meanwhile, in the mountainous regions of the northwest settlement, deep inside of a dark, wet cave, there lied a young boy rocking himself on the cold ground. He was trying to hold himself together. Why did you come? The young boy said. I begged you. I begged you not to. Look at what you made me do. The young boy rocked on the ground. The wet fluid still warm on his body. A fluid colored crimson. Inside the cave were a group of grass shinobi who had come trying to arrest the boy. It didn't go as expected. Instead, the grass shinobi had now found themselves victims to the Northwest Mountain serial killer. The young man, however, went by another name whenever his insanity didn't take hold of him. Whenever he had his mental faculties together, he was simply known as Jugo. This concludes Naruto Ouroboros. What if Naruto was adopted by Orochimaru? Part 5. With the conclusion of Part 5, this concludes the first arc of the Naruto Ouroboros series, which will officially be known as the Academy / Awakening arc. Now we move on to the next stage. As you were able to tell in this video, Team 7 in this story will still be going on the Land of Waves arc. Only Team 7, now led by Kakashi, will consist of Sasuke, Kiba, and Hinata. Of course, if you would like to hear about their adventures in this story, let me know down in the comment section below. While some things stay the same, you know that other things are bound to change. But for Naruto, Asuma, Shikamaru, and Ino, Team 10 are having a much different mission. An all-new original arc. This arc, should we continue the series, will be known as the Hidden Grass / Jugo arc. Something that ties into the original stories and mini-stories of the Naruto series being fleshed out and remade into an all-new arc for an all-new story. But of course, like I've been saying this week, if you want this series to continue, then all 5 parts need to hit 50 or more likes by Sunday midnight. If it does, then we're going to continue and do the next arc that will also have a like goal for its videos. If not, then this series will be put on hiatus until it hits its proper like goal, and we'll move on to something else. I have some other ideas that you all might be interested in seeing, but we'll have to wait and see how things play out. For now, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with PowerCore Productions and Podcastings, signing off, and I'll see you next time.